Okay, good morning.
Morning.
Okay, so let's start with our morning exercise. Okay, not everyone is here yet. For tomorrow practical, right? Let me see. I've prepared my video actually. Okay, as usual, I prepared my video already. And coincidentally, my first dose appointment clashes with our practical class tomorrow. Our class is at 2 to 4, right? My appointment is at 3 p.m. But then I already told Miss Chu that I do not want to cancel my class. And because if I cancel class, I need to do replacement. Yesterday, she asked all the staff lecturers who will go for their vaccination to apply for leave. But yeah, that's what I am thinking, because that's my practice, right? Every week. So yesterday I told Misha I will not apply leave. I will not cancel my class. I told her, oh, I can still get the feedback. If some of you are early, you submit like early, and at the day one I can still receive alert when you submit your work. Okay, and since I asked you all to submit in the screenshot, okay, it's easy. Oh, yeah, I didn't tell her that. I told her that I can still check the screenshots and give feedback, even return the work using my smartphone from the day one. If needed, I can use my Meet app, my Google Classroom app. Means this is telecommuting, I believe. Instead of sitting in front of my laptop, I will be at the day one. I'm not sure how is it going to be sharp. Is it like, do you think I can like stay in the meet while waiting for my turn? Because I remembered last time you joined in our meet also, right? Yeah, with phone. And I'm not sure whether 2 p.m. I will do the. My plan is 2 p.m. I will do the practical briefing first before I leave my home. And then I rejoin using my smartphone in case there's anything. But you all are good kids, Jonathan. So please help out. Yours can still post question, okay, if you want to ask question. And then, if you raise your hand, only lecturer can open the queue. Just don't raise your hand. You put your whatever question in the chat box, and my beloved class reps will help to answer in case I'm still driving to the day one or something lah. Okay, you all are good kids. Yeah, I agree with that. Let me see. Is everyone in already? Okay, let me open my live. Oh, yeah, good kid. Yeah, please join in. We need our morning exercise. Oh, another thing that I want to inform you all, I received a notification of a scheduled power. Is it a power cut? Power off? Power disruption today, 9 to 2 p.m. at my place. Currently, there's still electricity. Okay. I just charge everything. Ivan is here, Lim is here, Kelvin, Sharp, Russell, Jeremiah. Oh, How and Wong belum ada. The two Wongs are not here. Okay, never mind. Oh, there's one more, Celine. Oh, Celine ada sudah. Okay, so I'll just click start. Before that, I need to record this. This quizzes is for a previous week chapter. Okay, so I'll click start. Enjoy the exercise. Right, you are finishing already. Ivan. Oh, what happened? Okay, so let's finish. I think Daniel is doing another one. Yeah, let's just wait for Daniel. Brain not working today? Are you not feeling well, Ivan? What's your battery charge, your self-care battery charge today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I thought you all will get a redemption question. Is it like a redemption question is only for one question? Or you missed the second one? Oh, let me see. You cancel. One question on. Oh, Ivan. So the only one correct is the redemption question, is it? Oh no. Yeah, things happen when we are not feeling good. Okay. Our performance will be affected. Yeah, I understand that. I see. Me too. In fact, I'm still sleepy. uh, Let me see. Why is it not ending yet? 77 accuracy is not bad. Okay. It's reaching it's reaching 80%. Oh, why there's no ceremony? Normally, did I have to click N? I don't think so, because it happens, normally it happens automatically. I want to see the mastery party. What happened? Is it my line? Normally it will be automatic. I'm scared that if I click N, what happens if I click N? I want to enjoy the party. There's no party today? Oh, cancel. Or perhaps I do a refresh. Oh, still not ending? Why is it not ending? Oh, everyone already completed. There's no electricity. Okay. Let me remove my. I remove my. Oh, my second monitor is still here. Even though there's no electricity. But I cannot see. Click N. Okay. Okay, let me cabut my second monitor. There's no electricity. Yeah. Okay, let me click. My meet, is it here? Okay. N. Oh. Mastery party. This is what I want to see. Oh, meaning I click N every time, or I don't recall. Okay, let me see. Oh, this my electricity is too hot. Okay, but I can see improvement. 77% approaching 80. Excellent. The first question is question number 4. Question number 4. Let's look at the question number 4. Hang on. Which control has no default loop you must use templates to control output formatting. I think, or presentation not moving, or really, I guess in that case, I need to stop presenting and represent a window then. Yeah, there's no electricity, so unless I have a generator, I can still use my second monitor. Let me share a new window. Okay, question number 4. I remembered when you all did the first practical, okay, you were using repeater, right? And then everyone's repeater looks the same, okay? So the answer is a repeater. Okay, let me confirm. And I also remember only Celine did some formatting. Okay, question number 4. Yes, it's a repeater. There's no default look. Let's go back to question number 4. For a grid view, it is displayed in a tabular format, right? And then data list also displayed, if I'm not mistaken, in HTML table, is it? Details view, there's a default look for it, except for repeater. Okay, what question anymore? Question number 3. Longest question, question number 3. Question number 3, which data bound control is this? Is this a data list? No. Is this a form view? No. Notice that here it is showing a single record on a single cell. So the answer should be a grid view. Okay. Yeah. And grid view, details view. The grid view is the master. Detail view is the where when you click on the master table, the grid view, we display the single record in a single cell. So answer is details view. All right. What else? Any more? Okay, question number 1. Which SQL statement and method? Okay, to add its insert, and for CUD, all right, create, update, and delete, we use execute none query. Okay. Yes, this is true because when we update, this one is also true for delete. It might affect more than one record. For insert, normally we insert one record at one time. Okay, and then the last one is which data bound controls are used to display a list of few fields, means only a few fields where we don't populate from, say, if we have 1,000 records on that, display all, no. So we are referring to the list control, only the list control. So for the list control, what are our options? Yeah, excluding data list, definitely excluding data list. So we have drop-down list, radio button list. Okay, and one more is list box. So let me see. How many students? 12 students, or we have absentee today. Let me share practice link. Okay, and put it in our Google Classroom. Hang on. Practice link. Okay, click save. Yeah, it's difficult if I'm using only one screen. So I need to stop presenting and record. I guess now that you already have your morning exercise, before we start with the lecture, I'll give you all. Oh, question number 2. Oh, I didn't hear you. Okay. Means I already explained it. Okay. Yeah, that's the problem. If I use only one screen, I cannot see both screens. Sometimes the alert for chat boxes cannot hear. There's no alert at all. Okay. I think for if student raise your hand, it immediately capture the lecturer's attention. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I forgot to close it. Sometimes I notice it's already closed, but I didn't hear anything. Yeah, that's how is it. Okay. We deserve a rest after our morning exercise. Let me see what's the time now. Alang 9:24. I'll see you at 9:30 lah. Okay. I guess Paris also having the same problem, power disruption. Noel, did Farah mention anything about this? Adalah, Teta Karen juga. I have another class at 1 o'clock. I think I need to conserve my laptop's battery, but I noticed that as long as I'm connected to the internet, the battery is like, wow. Now, just now it's like 100%, now it's only 89%. Okay, so Ferry is not here, our 2 Wongs are not here. Last week I did answer from Yukan Russell Wong's number. So I did have a chat with him. We were basically talking about ASP.NET for Russell. Oh, Russell, I want to ask you, you mentioned that you ever use, is it C# or ASP.NET? The one that you did using the during your internship? Because Windows.NET. Okay, Windows app. Okay, using C#. So a little bit different. It's not entirely ASP.NET. Because I remembered similar lah. Because it's still in the .NET framework. Because I remember during the before the semester break, I did join several workshops. Not workshops, it's online tutorials. Okay, before I went for a semester break for ASP.NET. The one that I learned is like a single page using Razor. What else? The ASP.NET Core, ASP.NET, MVC, the one that was listed in our first chapter, I believe, but web form is listed as the last one. And then the one that we are covering is only web form covered in our syllabus. The rest are not covered in our syllabus. In fact, I noticed this last week when I shared with you all the references, online references. Okay, in the slides, when I go through the slides, previously the URL is asp.net, but then when I go to that particular link, automatically lead me to docs.microsoft, meaning it's linked to a new site, And I also noticed that at the top they mention they are no longer maintaining or updating the material, meaning for that particular documentation it's obsolete already lah. Oh my goodness. Obsolete. So I was having a bit of difficulty in terms of today's chapter. Today's chapter is membership and role management. Okay, for membership, what I like about this ASP.NET membership service provider is that once we register our database as a ASP.NET ASP.NET membership service provider, then everything will be available for us. There's no need for us to do the code for our login, our create user, our change password. So it's kind of wonderful, right? But there's one slide where it shows that we can set a role manager to true, enable equals to true. However, if we want to add a user to the role, we need to code it manually. That part is where I need to do more research, or perhaps Russell, you can help out on that. Because your assignment, okay, let me show you your assignment. Okay, present a window. I cannot hang on. I wonder why my PDF is not listed in my list of window. Baru ada. Okay. So here, if you notice, we have artists and customers. Okay, so meaning these are two different roles, if you agree. Because for artists, what they can do, they can post their arts, they can handle the number of stocks for sale. So regarding the arts stock lah. Okay, for customer, what can they do? They can view the art galleries. They can place order lah. They can add favorite arts into wish list. They can view purchase history. So these are like different roles already. So you have artists, you have customer. Normally, we go for admin role and a user role, right? But then for this particular assignment, it's artist and customer. Okay, so you'll still need to look at the code to how to add the role and how to add user to the role. Create new role and then add user to the role. I remembered before that, increases. Oh, if I minimize, then can see. Okay, understand. Let's see. Once the artist painting is solved, then by right, logically, it should be automatically deducted. So that is where the one that I want to show you here in the rubrics, it says that for your prototype, the program logic, the logical business flow. So your story at least should match the general assignment requirement. Okay, and then as for the membership and the role, which we will cover today, we can clearly see that we have artists and customers. All right, so that one goes into here. under program logic also lah. Okay, because under your logical business flow, if the user is an artist, then this is the flow. If the user is a customer, this is the flow. So the marks is around 15 marks. As for the, notice that for GUI navigation area is another 15 marks. Good use of master page, navigation control, and I remember down here you need to add in sitemap as well. So I also see that your, hang on, I want to show your tag. Oh, this one I already add in. Oh, okay, the setup. Okay, I see that for the this week's lab exercise means tomorrow. It's sort of like combining the previous lab exercises where you need to have create a new role student, 2 users that have the new role. Okay, login page. Don't worry about this part because we're going to use the login controls in sp.net. This one is just, you just need to click here and there and it is done for you nicely. Okay, you need to have a sitemap. Remember we covered a sitemap. But then the one that you did for your previous practical is the navigation. Okay, so you can see that this particular lab exercise is sort of like preparing you for your assignment, a recap on what you have covered previously. So it will take, I think it will take quite some time. Okay, just to show you for tomorrow. Not necessary, because if you look at the available sitemap, some are just organize hyperlinks, some are in tree view. Okay, up to you as long as it is a sitemap. Okay. Oh, okay. Now I noticed already, Russell. The meaning of close is close the chat box and I can hear the alert. But sometimes if I click X, I don't hear anything. Just now I hear alert. Okay. That's my concern lah. Okay. I know that using web form is I think it's a bit outdated personally. I think a bit outdated. Even the link that I show you. Okay, let me try to share the tab. Create a database table. Let's see whether this is current. This is, I think, this is still okay. Ini macam still okay. Next, I think it's somewhere here. This is the one that I'm talking about. We are no longer updating this content regularly. Okay, check the Microsoft product lifecycle, how it is supported. Oh, I think I need to open this. Recommended version, what is the recommended version? ASP.NET documentation. You see, it's ASP.NET Core. But we're not using Core. Okay, we're not using Core. When I had a chat with Wong, he mentioned about this one, REST API. Yeah, now it's Blazor. Yeah, I know Razor, but this is available. There's a free Coursera guided project on Razor, but I didn't check that. These are the latest one. Using MVC. We are not doing MVC. Okay, so this is the data version. All right, so I believe this is Azure SQL with S. Okay, and all this data driven is using ASP.NET Core. We are not using ASP.NET Core. That's why I wasn't able to complete my demo video. I'm currently stuck at the role management. Okay, the role management, but I'll continue with that. And then let's see. For Noel's batch, you haven't taken any web application development courses, right? But for the diploma students, you at least have taken Celine. You all have taken the web system technologies with me, where we use PHP and XAMPP server, remember? And then for GUI web app, the DFT students, Russell, you all use Java and NetBeans. And in NetBeans, which server you're using? You're using, is it Apache Tomcat? Apache Tomcat, or there's one more, Fish, Fish, Glassfish. Glassfish server, yes. Yeah, there's two options, Apache Tomcat and Glassfish server. Previously, Apache Tomcat works, but then after that, I myself also start using Glassfish server. Then everything is okay, Glassfish server. So what I'm trying to say is that try to recall when you, for the GUI web app, it's at the final chapter, chapter 10 part B, where you learn the MVC and then the security thing, where you have this authorization and authentication. You can create roles for user, where you go to the servers, what's the name? Admin console, was it? Admin console. So from the, you go to the server admin console, and then from there, you can create the user, and after that, you assign roles, something like that. And then I also remember Celine, Ivan, for WebSysTech, we can go to XAMPP server and create the role over there. So it's kind of easy. Do you all remember doing that? Going to the admin console or the web administration console to create the roles for your users? No. I remembered XAMPP server should be okay. Glassfish server should be okay. For our ASP.NET, we're using the IIS, right? Microsoft IIS server. This is my first time using IIS server. I tried to access the web administration tools because from the previous, I think it's the old version of the documentation. And also the YouTube videos, when I look at the timeline is like 2005, 2003. It says just go to the website menu, but then when I look at my Visual Studio 2019, there's no website menu, but I do have project menu. I look at the project menu, there's no such thing as the ASP.NET configuration, and from so far from all the online researches that I did, every article say you go to the website menu and then click the ASP.NET configuration to access the ASP.NET website administration control. That one is similar to what we can do with Glassfish admin console, similar to what we can do with Zen server, where we can create our user, we can give them role, whether it's an admin or it's a normal user. Unfortunately, that's where I'm stuck. I have to tell you all that. So basically, my demo video is up until testing for the users. For the role management, I believe we need to like follow our lecture notes that we need to do the role management. We need to do the code manually. I found one. Okay, hang on. I bookmark it. Code project using the role manager. The one with the code. This is the one that I mentioned. Russell, Jonathan, have you all tried creating users through the admin console of the Glassfish server? For ASP.NET, there should be this website administration too, but I think it's no longer there. Okay, and then where we can create the users. And then I tried to like using the authorization manager, but I don't have any authorization store. Okay. Let me see what else do I have. The one with the code. If you all need to like do the coding manually, wow, that is not good. Okay, hang on. Oh, I think I didn't. I'm hoping that we have the server admin console to do it like what is shown, but then that is old version. Okay, role created successfully. I'm not sure whether for us to create the admin role, user role, we need to do this. And then bind the role to the user control. But this one is a assign role to the user. So this is manually coded. Like if you create the username Melissa, and Melissa is admin, so you need to assign Melissa with the admin role. But one more thing that I want to tell you all, we're going to use the login control. So basically, like creating of the new user, okay, everything it's already done automatically. Even when I try to create a new user, it is automatically stored into my membership table. So there's no need for us to concern about this one. To log in, all right, and then to create users and so on. Okay. So if you all found anything about role management, please share the link. Okay, share the link in our Google Classroom. Yeah, I tried to like ask my course coordinator. She hasn't replied me yet on the creating of the the role, the creating of the role. Okay. Anyhow, my battery is already 77%. I need to get on with our lecture. Okay. Then I need to how to go to, okay, go back here. Present a window, PowerPoint slideshow, share, and I need to do the recording. Go back to my Meet. Start recording. Okay, I will go to my for this chapter 5, it's all about membership management and role management. One thing I like about ASP.NET is that if we use this particular facility, membership facility, it's very easy for us to do the logins, okay, creating of new users and so on, okay. So, but then before we all start, we need to first compare, what is authorization and what is authentication. And this is supposed to be, you all know this already. As long as you have taken web application development courses, you have learned this. Even for your IT course, you have learned this. And currently, you all are taking, I think, what was it? Introduction to Computer Security, right? Under Miss Lee. So I believe you all already understand something about security, web security, and so on. Now, for our syllabus, the authentication, we will concentrate on forms authentication. There are various methods, three methods supported by ASP.NET. So we are going to use the forms authentication on it. What I like about today's chapter is how to use the login controls. But the demo, the Gasman is here. The demo on the, using the login controls is for practical class. Okay, and authorization, we will place our authorization setting in our web.config file, and the last one would be how to manage role. Okay. Web security, this is talking about the importance of securing our website. Okay, especially when what happens if there's an information leakage, say leakage on our web servers, or perhaps leakage on our errors, and so on. This will be a source of important information about our website, what we're using, our business logic, the security method that we're using. So system information leakage is what we need to avoid. Because as soon as like attacker, they can get information such as system information such as perhaps your session ID. attacker, he can like use that, or if it is a valid session ID, then he can use the session ID to access into your web application. So look at the third bullet. It's very important to avoid system information leakage as far as possible. Now, there are several basic principles, but for our chapter, we will only focus on these two principles: authentication and authorization. Authenticate, when we want to authenticate our user, it means we want to find out who are you, okay? Are you who you claim to be? Yeah. So for authentication, we can use credentials. Can you all give me examples of credentials? Okay, so that's the question. And as for authorization, this is different from authentication. This is to determine what a user or perhaps a group of users, according to their role, or what they can do. After you authenticate them, what they can do. So can you give me an example of authorization? Okay, so for that one, let me, I have prepared the question in our Google Classroom. I think I can turn it on now. Oh, already posted. Okay. So with the aid of an example, okay, this is the class activity question. Explain the difference between authentication and authorization. So you need to give me an example. Okay, so class activity question. Need to give me an example. Right, so let me continue. And I need to go back to my Meet and present my slideshow. Okay. Now, once we're done, we are already done with the introduction, but let's look at security in the context of ASP.NET. I remember our title just now is what membership management, right? So this is what we have. We have membership management service. Okay, so ASP provides us with membership management service. So this membership management service deal with authenticating users, and we have the login controls available for us to use. If you go to your Visual Studio, I think below your standard toolbox, there's a login category. We have various login controls. So meaning it's automatically done for us. I think 2 nights ago, I completed my demo and tested with the creating of new users. Once I create a new user, create an account, I got and check my database. Oh, it's there already. All right. So deal with authenticating users. Now, ASP.NET also provides role management service that covers authorization. However, later I will show you that particular slide where even though we have this, but we need to code the, we need to do the coding manually, right? Okay, so based on your answer in for my class activity question, I will I should be able to know whether you'll understand the difference between authentication and authorization. From this example, which one is authorization, which one is authentication? Is it A or is it B? If you have your mic, can you turn on your mic? That is easier for me. No need for me to go and check the chat box. Which
B.
A is what?
Authenticate.
Yes, A is authentication, meaning we need to authenticate our users first. If the user gets authenticated, then we will know whether that user is an admin or perhaps any other role. If the credential given is invalid, then you can show error message and redirect the user back to the login page. So we need to get our users authenticated first, and then once it is authenticated, there's another level, which is authorization. We need to know if the user is assigned with the admin role, then he will go to a certain page, and otherwise then go to another page if he is a normal user. So that is a role management, okay? To do this manually, wow. But I hope I can figure out something, all right, and then complete my demo video. Okay, these are the types of authentication. We have forms authentication, we have Windows. When I did the demo video, I do see Windows authentication. You just need to select forms authentication. We have Windows authentication. We have Microsoft account. Previously, we call it as passport authentication. And number 4 is social login. Okay, social login is, remember when there's certain website where if you need to create an account, there's one particular part, login using your Facebook account or login using your Google account. That is social login. However, this is not included. ASP.NET support 3 types only: Forms, Windows, and Microsoft account. Okay, and you can see that even though we are not covering Windows authentication, Microsoft account, and social login, but we will go through in not in detail, but just to show you what is it all about. So we'll start off with Windows authentication. Okay, a simple explanation. For Windows authentication, it will use a Windows account. Sometimes you can still see the Active Directory term being used. It depends on the Windows version that you're using. So all the users' credential will be stored in the Windows user group. So basically, if you have your web application and then it's available for your company's intranet, then it is advisable to use Windows authentication, because the thing is the user's credentials are already in the Windows user group, right? So if you use Windows authentication, then make your life easier, especially for intranet web application. Okay. So where in this diagram, you can see that when the user login, okay, this is an example of the login, username, password, okay, cancel. The page will pass the user credentials to the web server. Here it's Windows authentication, definitely is IIS, okay, Microsoft IIS. So this server will handle the authentication, all right, Microsoft IIS. and then it will be based on the Windows Active Directory, because as what is mentioned here, the credentials are stored in the Active Directory, right? The next one is the Microsoft account or passport. Okay, what is nice about this authentication is that it is a single log on. Okay, and then all the profile is stored in one site. So we have a core profile services for member sites. Means if you already log in, because Microsoft, we have lots of products, right? So you can register either using your Hotmail, LiveMail, or MSN. All these are member sites for your Microsoft account. So it's a single log-on, right? So look at this diagram. Similar to the previous one, Windows authentication, the login page will pass the user credential to the web server. Okay, and for passport authentication, the HTTP credentials in the form of ticket is something like the passport. I'm sure some of you have your passport, where you use your passport to travel to other countries, right? Okay, so you assume that the other countries is like the members' sites. Okay, you just need a single passport to travel to various countries, and then you will be accepted into that particular country. So this, I think that's why they call it passport previously. Okay, so the login credential will be passed to the Microsoft Passport server. Okay, and then it is stored centrally. Okay, so that's why you can just log in into your passport account or your Microsoft account, then you can access other member sites. Okay, the most interesting is the social login or social authentication. The example shown at the top is a very simple login page. Like instead of login using your own email address, you can also log in using other service, like you want to use your Twitter account or your Microsoft account, your Facebook account, or your Google account. If you go in Google, this is a social login. They're using OAuth and also OpenID. OAuth is auth means authentication. This is a open protocol. It's open because if you see, it's for social login. Yeah, it allows authorization that is secure. All right, whether it's from the web, mobile, or desktop application, and we need the OpenID on top of our authentication to manage the identity, okay, the user's identity. So I believe social login is like the trend now. Whenever you see this application online, single sign-on, then they will get your existing login information from the social networking service that you have selected. For myself, I don't really use this social login. How about you all? Do you all prefer using the social login? Because remember, if you need to create an account, there's another username, password that you need to memorize. Okay, so that's the three parts of authentication that we will not cover in our syllabus. The one that we will cover is the forms authentication. Okay, now let's look at what is form authentication. But before that, I think there's one more slide here. This is from 2013 statistic. Okay, And we can see that Facebook dominates social logins. Wow. But then you can see that Google is closing the gap. It's very close gap. In fact, I try to check for the latest statistic. I only get 2015 from this same source, 2015. It seems that Facebook is still leading. And let me see. Yeah, 2015, Facebook continues to dominate social logins. Yeah. The latest one I do have February 2021. Perhaps we can have a look at that. Okay, let me go and open the link. Share the chat. This one explain how the social login works, get the benefits. Okay, the quick step. Okay, this is the trend. It seems that females prefer social login. Male prefers a social login. I think I'm under the over 50. 18 to 25-year-olds prefer social login compared to those over 50. I'm in the over 50 category. And in terms of geography, are we in the APEC region? Yeah, still Facebook lah. Okay. So why do we need to look at this statistic? Because perhaps if you want to consider social login, you must include Facebook as one of the options, definitely. Okay, so we still need to see the statistic, right? Let me close that. Go back to my slide. Okay, and present slideshow. Okay, so this is the forms authentication. Let me see, it's already 10:15. Let me continue a bit more. Forms authentication is the traditional login and logout pages, meaning we have a web form and then the user's authentication is handled by you can see in the example of the web form, we have the username and password. And normally the users, we store it in a database, all right? Now, let's see the difference between the Windows authentication and also the Microsoft account and also the forms authentication. For Microsoft account or the passport, you have the HTTP credential in terms of the ticket, right? Where it acts like a passport where it allows single log on. Okay, so for Windows authentication, it is stored in the Active Directory. Okay, for the Microsoft account or passport, it is stored at the passport server. For forms authentication, look at the diagram. Okay, when the server receive the request, means your IIS, it will send the cookie to our local machine. And then the same cookie will be passed back to the server along with what the user requested. And then notice that the cookie will remain unless the user clear the cookie, all right, or somehow it get lost. So why do we need this cookie? Something like a session ID, because we want our user to this user recently click this option and or they fill up this form, and we want to bring that info to the next page. Otherwise, if it goes to the next page and seems like this user is not yet authenticated, that's where it doesn't work, and we always see a pop-up saying that please enable your cookies or your and other things, right? For in order for the site to work, the application needs the cookie in this example. Right? Means the user remain authenticated and he can go to one page to another page. So this is a animation, but then for yours, since it's PGF, you won't be able to see this animation. So let's look at the first one. Assuming that the user click on the link and requested for page A. So what happened is that the request will be received by the web server. However, the web server will find that the request comes without any credential. It's an anonymous user. Okay, so what happened? It will redirect the user to a login page, right? So the user will enter his username and password, and then the web server will authenticate the user. Okay, it's valid. Then the user will receive the page that they requested for, and then at the same time, the cookie comes along. Okay, and the next time, perhaps after viewing page A, now the user wants to click to another link to go to page B. So when that happens, this request along with the cookie will be sent to the web server. And the web server, because the cookie is there, all right, so the user remains authenticated, and the web server will send the page B for that particular user. So this is how the forms authentication model works. Need cookie. Okay, we need the cookie to see whether to keep our users authenticated, remain authenticated. Now, so these are the three methods provided by ASP.NET, means supported by ASP.NET: Windows authentication, Forms authentication, and also the Microsoft account. All right, the advantages and disadvantages. It's mentioned earlier on that Windows authentication is suitable for intranet application, okay, but it's unsuitable if the web app resides outside of your company's intranet. Forms authentication, this is the traditional login logout process. It's easy to implement. However, you need to maintain your own database, okay, because there are two ways for you to store your users. One is you can store them in your web.config if it is just a small number of users. But then what if it's for a large website, you have lots of users, then in that case you need to have a database for that. Okay, so that is the disadvantage. And for Microsoft account, definitely single sign-on, and it's meant for you single sign in. You can access to the member site. So that's why here it says that integrated with other services, right? And there's no need to maintain a database as compared to the forms authentication, because everything is taught in the what's the name of the server already, the passport server. Okay. However, normally the easiest or the most convenient, the advantage would be money lah. Okay, there's a fees involved, and then there's a Windows proprietary protocol lah. Unlike social login that use open source. Okay, social login, they use OAuth and OpenID, which are open source. Okay, I hear something. I'm not sure. That one we need to go to their website to find out, because this is, I think it's kalau corporate level, it will be expensive lah, right? Okay. Oh, my battery is 63%. Let me see. Okay, a little bit more, then I will give you a 5 minutes or a 5 minutes break. Yeah, I want to present. It's easier if I have my second monitor. Okay. Now, web security issues, the common example or the common issues would be broken authentication and also the session attack. Okay, this happen when a user can access resources that they are not allowed to access. Why does this happen? Perhaps it's due to the authentication being bypassed or being altered. So yeah, this remains as web security issues. I believe you all are covering this the MISLI, right? Okay, the security issue and the introduction to computer security. One example is like the hacker, they can access your account as long as that they can get, say, the password, okay, or perhaps the session ID, or like the form authentication, the cookies. Okay, so it seems that this hacker is a valid user and he can access into the system. And recently, I don't remember, but what is it exactly? But I remember something involving Japan. Is it Olympic? Oh, my memory. What was it already? It's something about password being hacked. Yeah. So when our password is being hacked, this is where our website will be affected. All right. Now, so how can we go about these issues? Okay, the web security issues. The web security issues, if we take a look again, it's about authentication that involves password, key, session ID, cookie. So our security measurement would be, we really need to find out how our flow goes about, like password reminder, the remember me, the change password, the logout. I remember one of the students previously, before the internship starts, the seniors, they need to develop a final year project, a very nice final year project, a web application. But then as a panel, when I look at the group presentation, every page that he opens is will be open in a new tab. And then every new tab, there's a logout. Then I ask the student to, okay, can you log out from that page? Okay. And then I log out, and then I ask the student to go back to another tab. Oh, you can still access that page even though you already log out from another different page. So this is where we need to like be aware of how things are handled. Okay, and then also how session tokens are used. And you'll learn you'll already learn computer networks, okay, fundamentals of computer networks, and I believe you all will take 2 more courses, advanced courses on computer networks. So I'm sure you all will have a look at this HTTPS and so on, SSL, encrypted pages and so on. But what you need to know is when you have login forms, okay, try to have it on a dedicated encrypted pages, okay, of a secure socket layer. A list of what are the questions to find out whether your website is, say, vulnerable to this issue, the broken authentication issue or the session management attack. So you can go through this question, but then I want you to go to the second last bullet. Session IDs vulnerable to session fixation attacks. So what is session fixation attacks? There's a link down there. You can go and have a look. It's session fixation is a class under session hijacking. Okay, so it seems that the hacker can get hold of a valid session and then use it to gain access to the system. So if you're interested about this session fixation, go ahead and read the article. All right. So before we go to the forms authentication setup, okay, there are 2 questions. The first one is, what are the 3 authentication provided by ASP.NET? Okay, now, and also how does a form authentication works? Okay, anyone can tell me, how does it work? Form authentication. Or perhaps the 3 types of authentication. Anyone remember? Okay, we have Windows authentication, form authentication. There's one more, which is the passport or the Microsoft account. What you'll remember about the forms authentication just now? What is different from in the diagram compared to the other 2 diagrams? Forms authentication. What's the difference? That is under the advantages, disadvantages, right? But the question is about how does it work? How does it work? If you refer to the 3 diagrams that we have looked just now, there's a very clear difference. What do we use? Not we, but then forms authentication needs what? Look at the diagram. I changed the icon to a colored icon. The original PowerPoint, it shows a gray icon and it looks different. it looks like a Pac-Man because the Chinese fortune cookies, right? Cookies, okay. Do you see the cookies in the diagram? And then just now I show you the animation. The animation. Not really, not really. But then if you're talking about the forms authentication, then it will use cookie. Microsoft account, then they will use the HTTP credential in the form of ticket or passport. Okay, so let's go for a, okay, my battery is 58%, 2 minutes break, and I'll start with another recording. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So let me present my slideshow. Okay, and I'll start the recording. Since our syllabus is only concentrating on the forms authentication, you need to know how to set up the forms authentication. First of all, we need to register our database as the ASP.NET membership service provider. Therefore, we can use the login controls, and whatever a new user that we have created will be automatically stored into the database, right? So here you will use the ASP.NET register SQL tool. to auto-generate and add the membership table into your database. I have prepared a demo video on this, okay? And after you do the setup, then the next thing is to configure your web config file. What we need in a web config file, besides the connection string, the connection string is because we link our database to the membership table, right? So you need to, the first time you create your database, right? For my demo video, it's about a Halloween store. So I created a new database called Halloween. So I need to copy the connection string for my Halloween database, and I will put it inside my web.config file. Okay. Next, in the web.config, we need to add in the membership provider as well. Okay, so the connection string depends on your database connection name, right? So you can see that we have the add element. What are we adding? We are adding the ASP.NET SQL membership provider. Okay, it's a membership provider. So you create a database and then you register your database as a ASP.NET membership provider. Okay, so that is the concept. And then in your web.config, you need to set the authentication mode to forms. Okay, so it can be mode equals to Windows, but then for us, we will use mode set to forms. And then if you have any login page, then you take note on the name of the login page file name and put it under the forms element there. Okay. The authorization part is also included in your web.config, whereby you can either use the allow or the deny element, and then you can set it accordingly. So if the example given in this slide is you want to deny access to anonymous users. Anonymous users means unauthenticated users. So you use the question mark. That is to represent unauthenticated users. So example of denying access to unauthenticated user is shown in this slide. To store the usernames and password, I mentioned this one a little while ago. We can either store it in your web config file or in a database table. There's one more, which is using XML file. I saw this, okay, available also, how to do this, but since it's not covered, so I didn't really go and have a look. Right. So when should we store our username and password in the web config file? When we only involve a small number of username and password. Okay, and I'm sure you all are learning cryptography. Have you all reached to the cryptography chapter for your intro to computer security? I'm sure you all will be learning various types of encryption. Any web application development will sort of like cover some part of encryption. For web sys-tech, not sure whether Celine and Ivan remember, but previously, which encryption did we cover? Is it AES 128 or SHA-1 or MD5? That one was a few years back, but we need to know that if you want to hard code your credential in the, say, your web.config file, it should be encrypted. Okay, so this is the example. Remember, we have the authentication mode element just now. okay, where we set the authentication mode to form. This is also where we place our credential elements, where we can select whether the password format is set to clear or any other encryption format. This is just an example. So using a clear format is definitely not our option for a real life project. But if you're still in the development mode, yes, you can do this. So this is an example of the user's credential. We have name and password included in the credentials element there. Now, the second method is to store it in a database. Okay, this is the most common method because I don't think whether we encrypt it or not. But then if you encrypt it and you only have like few users, okay, then why not store the credential in web config, right? However, for large websites and for scalability, then we use database table to hold the usernames and password. Most of the examples that you can find online is where they store the user's credential in a database. But for us, since we have okay, if we registered our database as ASP.NET membership provider, I noticed that all the user account not, in fact, I only created one user. It is automatically stored in the database. Okay, so there's no need for me to like add in the credential in my web config or have another database table for it, because this is done through the facility known as the ASP.NET membership provider. Okay, let me show you the, let me open my Visual Studio. Okay, let me select another window. Okay, share. So over here I have my Halloween DB. Okay, and then I use the ASP underscore what was it? Cannot remember. Let me go back to my slide. In the forms authentication setup, the first step, we use the ASP.NET register SQL2. Okay, you do the setup first. Okay, and then this particular database I've already registered as the ASP.NET membership provider. So this is my database. Let me refresh it. So after the setup, then you should be able to see, oh, these are the tables. Okay, and the users that I created, it's here. Let me show you the table data. Okay, the username. When I create the user, right? Create user. Because I'm using the login controls, so need to enter the username, password, email, security question, security answer, and then click create user. Okay. However, if you look at the users table, all right, I can only see the user. That's it. Okay, this is what is kept in the membership table. Oh, let me double check whether there's anything in the membership table. Yeah, automatically generated. So basically the email, the password question, password answer, or even the last login date, or all these are already there. Very nice, right? File password, okay, comment. What is not included here? Oh, ada. See, it's already encrypted for you. This is my password. Oh, definitely this is not my password lah. Already encrypted in the database. So this is one nice thing if we use the membership facility by SP.NET. Nice, right? I just need to use the login. Let me show you. The toolbox is here. Scroll down the login controls. Okay, select the create user wizard. Okay, this is already there. That's it. Then can work already. No need to design. The coding also not needed. Okay, let me see. Okay, the time now is 10:48. I'll continue with my slide. Okay, and go to Meet, present a window, slideshow, share. Oh, I wish there's electricity right now, and then I can use my monitor. Okay, so this is the login control that I was talking about. We have various controls like the login. It will ready for us with the text boxes, the buttons, with a built-in validation. All right, very nice for our login functionality. And the one that I show you just now is the create user wizard, used to create the user accounts. We even have another control for the change password, password recovery. So what does it mean? It means it's already there. You just need to use it. Okay. Login status. Give feedback so that the user know whether they already log in or not. Because if the user already log in, then what they will see is if they haven't logged in, then they will see the login link. Okay. Otherwise, then they will see the logout link. We can also use this login status to control our login and logout processes, like for logout, after logout, redirect to which page and so on. And even the login name. Login name will display the user's login name, like you are logged in as which user. Okay, very interesting. And the login view will display the login information. Remember that if you are this user, and then you might be showing different content to your different groups of users. So login view will alter the appearance of the page, whether the user is logged in or not. Okay. So that's the login controller. You will play around with this, but then not all. Change password and password recovery is not included in my demo video. Okay, but then the rest we use it, so I think it will be useful. Okay, next, the three types of users. We have anonymous users. Remember just now, this example, if we want to deny access to authenticated user, then we use deny users and then set it to question mark. Question marks is anonymous users. Registered users means they already have account, right? And also administrator. For this one, you need to assign role. Now, just to, this slide is referring to our previous example, the setting, the authorization setting in the web config. We can do a deny or allow access. To deny, then we use the deny element. To allow access, then we use the allow element. So we are now at the role management. To allow role management, under the system.web, we set the role manager enable to true. That's it. Okay, system.web. Let me see, is there any system.web here? So within system.web, we add in that particular code. All right, role manager enable set to true. I'll look at the second one. This is what I talked about earlier on before I start my class. Even though the role management, we can like enable it to true, but you need to code it manually when you want to add roles. So when we use the login controls just now, I can like create users, right? But then I check the login controls, click on the smart tag, there's no administer website link. If there's a administer website link, then I can click on that and then open the ASP.NET membership ASP.NET web administration tools to easily add the roles, okay, to our web app. But here from this slide, I can see that we need to code manually to add roles. So these are the available functions. First, create the role. And then what else do we have? There's add user to role, delete roles. Okay. I hope some of you will get more information on this to code manually on adding the roles. Okay, we have seen this setting of authorization, allow or deny. Okay, we have seen the question mark. Question mark means unauthenticated users or anonymous. If we want to refer to all the users, then we use asterisk. For specific users, then users set to say Eric. Okay. And then if you're referring to role, then instead of the users attribute, you use the role attribute. Okay, roles set to admin. But somehow for this particular authorization setting to work, okay, we must create the admin role first. And from here, I can see to create the admin role, we need to use this available function, code it manually. Okay, the authorization setting, you need to understand this because there are several ways. The first one is normally when we create our web application, we will have a web config in our root directory. So say you want to deny unauthorized user, then you can put that authorization in your web config root directory. And then say, for example, you have a child folder, okay, a subfolder called management. You can add another web config if you want to secure that folder. To secure that folder, say allow roles that is equal to admin. So remember, yeah, if you want to use the roles attribute, meaning this need to be done, okay? Which is I haven't got the chance to complete my research on this one, okay? And then to deny all users. Normally we do a allow first, then we deny whoever that is not supposed to access that particular folder. Okay, this is the first method. Okay, this is the first method. Okay, next. Oh, it's almost time already. Give me a moment. 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah, less than 10 minutes. All right. Now, set all requirements on a single web config. So in this case, there's no need for you to add additional web config in the child folder. To do that, in your root, okay, you have the original web config, right? You can specify the location. Okay, say for example, the allow roles to admin and deny other users. Then you need to enclose the authorization with the location path set to the management folder. Okay, so you can combine both. So either you do this in two different web config, or you combine on a single web config that belongs in the root directory. Okay. In this third example, this is where you want to set the authorization requirements only to a particular single file, meaning admin.aspx, only for this page, admin page. So you can do that. You just need to specify the path. Okay, start with the folder name or directory name, and then append it with the file name. This is if it is meant for that particular one page only. If it applies to all the pages within that folder, then it will be like this. You just need to specify the location path attribute. Okay. You need to understand this because it's included in our practical. Do we have time for the question? Okay, the first question. Assuming that we have admin, staff, and member. Okay, there are two scenarios, A and B. Assuming also only admin can access to all the files in the current directory. What seems to be wrong for the first scenario? No deny user for the first one. Let me check here. Yes, correct. You normally, after you allow the roles, then you need to do a deny access. Okay, correct, Kelvin. How about B? I can see tabalik in it. Do you get it?
Yeah, deny first then allow.
Yeah, you deny everyone, maksudnya including the admin. Mana boleh, that one will not work. When I first start testing my lab practice, yeah, what was it? Let me double check. Oh, I already closed my Visual Studio. I run my login. Cannot remember, but okay. I think it's order. Is it? No, not order. A menu. I think it's menu. I run menu, but then the page that shown to me is the login page. Balik like that. Okay, balik. Oh, why? I know because I put there deny. I do not allow any user to even access that particular page. That's why it keep on showing me the login page, even though I run from that particular page. So okay. Then I put allow set to all user. Then I can see that particular page. Okay, so it's kind of interesting when we do the testing part lah. Okay, let me see, the time now is 11:02. I think we can finish, let me finish this. Okay. Hang on, give me a few more minutes. There's another question. Assume that there are two different roles in a web application, admin and staff. Staff can only access the files in the root and staff folder. Admin can access to all files in the root, admin folder, and staff folder. All users must log in order to view all the pages. So the question is, use two different approaches to demonstrate how the above can be done by inserting the necessary code in the web context. It means that show the codes for this approach and also for this approach. Okay, let me, I think I should open a Colab edit. Colab edit, hang on. What is your next class? 12 kah? Sekejap.
Hi.
A little bit more because tomorrow practical. Okay. Edit. Why is it not working? Or it's slow. What else I can use besides Colab edit?
Jamboard.
Jamboard. Can we type in the Jamboard?
Yeah.
Bolehkah? Colab edit, whiteboarding. Or place text. Start a new board. Normally I use the Jamboard for, okay, send. Where's the text? Is this a text? Sticky note, image, erase, or text box. I already prepared the template for you all. So you just need to type in. Oh, this is too small. Or perhaps I put it into the two approach. So this is approach number 1. Because if you understand this, okay, this is approach number 1. We can increase size, kan? Normal. Where to increase the size? Title. Okay. So I already give you all the format. You just need to add in the deny or allow access. Then let me open a new one for the second approach. Control C. Oh, still small size. Oh. Okay. I'm not sure whether you're able to, okay, so I will leave the Jamboard open now. Okay, so the first approach is if you use more than one web config. And on the second board, that is if you combine all the authorization requirements on a single web config. So I already give you all the template. You just need to type in the deny or allow access. Okay, now that it's ready, let me continue with the rest of the slide. I want to finish this. Okay, and share my slideshow. Okay, so that's the question to you. Okay, this is some ASP identity. All right. Oh, why I haven't thought of this? It seems that ASP identity have replaced ASP membership. No wonder I cannot find the ASP web administration tools. But then our lab practice use a membership, ASP membership provider. Okay. Never mind. As long as you all know how to use the login controls and see how your users being stored in the database table, I think I'm okay already. All right, now it's very clear. SP membership was designed in 2005. Yeah, correct. This is the online resources that I came across. And then for membership, there is no support for external identity. That's why it doesn't include the social login. Okay, we call it as OWIN, Open Web Interface for .NET. Oh, now I'm wondering, should you use membership, ASP membership for your assignment or identity? But we don't cover the identity in this chapter, only membership. Okay. So these are the feature. But then if you look at the first feature, role provider is same as membership. And from our previous slide, what is it? It says we need to code manually to add roles. Okay, got it. So the only difference would be because of this OWIN integration, which is Open Web Interface for .NET that support external identity providers like Facebook, Google, and Twitter. It allows social login. For SP membership, it only support 3. Okay, and then you look at the last two. Support the email, SMS confirmation, and 2-factor authentication. All right, so understood. Yeah, there's a warning here. The login controls in the toolbox do not apply to ASP identity. Yeah, for your practical practice, you are using ASP membership. Okay, but if you want to use the latest one for your assignment, you can still use the login template and do the code changes from there. For example, adding of the rows. All right, so it's clear already. I wonder why I didn't see this one. So meaning extra work for our practical. Okay. So that's all for our membership and role management. No wonder I was stuck with the role management. Okay, I totally forgot that there's this thing. It does. Okay, it's clear already. So let me see. Is the question there? How to see my Jamboard? Go back to my Jamboard. I cannot present my Jamboard, right? No answer yet, so I will leave this. I think all this will be stored in my Google Calendar. Okay, everyone has the link, so I think I can stop my lecture already lah. Yeah, thank you for waiting. It's already 11:12. You should go for your lunch. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome. Yeah, welcome. Bye-bye.